Hello.
Hi guys.
Welcome to my, I suppose, afternoon off. It's normally a night off, but we do want to ruin the podcast captions. Hope everyone's doing well. We are live from Essex, and someone has popped in to see me.
Hi guys. I made the long trip, really long trip. I took a bus, the Elizabeth line, and 2 different trains, and then I walked. So it was a bit like, I feel a bit like a hobbit.
And of course, we had to put the hood over your head and put it in the
Yes.
car so you don't know where you are. Anyway, what we're doing today. Well, actually, first, before we start, if you're new to this and you've read the tweet, you probably don't know what we're talking about. So perhaps a bit of background. So we're talking about Tezos, the blockchain. I'm the chief baker of the Tezos Foundation. On a blockchain, you have validators or miners. We call our validators bakers. That's why I go around in a baker's hat. We happen to have an environmentally friendly proof of stake blockchain. And today is switchover day. We're going to switch protocol to Tallinn, and the blockchain has decided to do that at about 4 o'clock. We were going to start this. We started this at 3:15, thinking it was going to switch at about 3:30, and you got put up with us for another 40 minutes, whittering on about stuff. I'm sure we'll come up with something. It's the 20th protocol switch. Is that right, sir?
Yeah, it's a 20th name upgrade of the Tezos blockchain. So it's a 20th upgrade coming through the on-chain governance mechanism, which means that all sufficient majority of Tezos bakers validators have voted for this upgrade. So it's clearly not our first rodeo. So and hopefully it will happen as smooth as the previous one had.
Yeah, well, there's never any bugs in our software, so it will just work. Now, before we go on, a serious note. We don't represent our employers in any way. This is the usual rules of this podcast. It's a safe space for bakers to talk, safe space for Tezos people to talk. We occasionally talk about cryptocurrency. Don't go out and large it and go and buy a load of crypto straight after. Don't take any advice from us. Definitely don't take any advice from him.
Not from me.
We're a couple of good old boys, not meaning any harm. And today, because we're on a switchover and we do run bakers ourselves, we may have to abandon ship and go and help if something goes wrong. But of course it won't, because we've done lots of testing. Right. The roast beef is in the oven. The Yorkshire pudding mix is made. I made stock as well for gravy. And there's an apple crumble coming as well. Aren't they lucky?
Food for a king.
Yes, food for a king. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it. So what do we normally do on this? We've got plenty of time. So highlights and lowlights. What are your lowlights and what are your highlights?
Highlights. I don't know if it might be visible on the stream. The stark contrast in between Chris' whiteness and my bit of suntan. I managed to. I had enjoy a couple of weeks off. At the beginning of January, I was in South America. I was in Uruguay for a couple of weeks. It was really nice seeing family and friends, and also spending some time escaping the lack of sunlight and here in Old Blighty. So it's been nice. It's a good break.
You vitamin D'd up. Basically.
I vitamin D up. Yes, I had some good food as well. And now I'm back for, energized for what I hope it's going to be a great year for Tezos and for us.
It was a break for some of us as well.
Yes, I guess so. But now the downside is that now you have a very energized me,
By the way, on your point about tanning, I have been sent down the tanning studio by my girlfriend. She's sort of told me to go down every week. So we're currently on the 9 minutes phase.
So the Essex Orange.
The Essex Orange is actually an option at this particular tanning salon for about £1 a minute of spray or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cool. All right, so that was the highlights. Were there any low lights? Or?
I don't know. Not particularly low lights. I mean, kind of it's I don't know, like at least not not personally. It can be a good break. It's good stuff. Think kind of market is the market. So at this point we cannot keep pissing about it. At some point, like I guess hopefully this year it will be better than last year for the not for I guess the whole crypto space. And politics is a bit weird, like this kind of these recent weeks is kind of like saying shit. Maybe I should retreat to Patagonia and escape there. Speaking of which, that might be a little bit of a down low in terms of the community. I know some of you guys have been aware we have this amazing group of artists that are actually Tezos trailblazers, Bosque Gracias. In addition to organizing, being digital artists, they they live in Patagonia. They had like a nice retreat there for artists where they prepare different programs, and they have a nice set of studios. And sadly, for the second year in a row, it's been a quite dry summer, and very unluckily, their house basically it's outside as a compound, like 5 of their houses that they have there burned down. There's a massive fire there in that part of Patagonia, and basically they lost a lot of the gear, not just their house. They're all safe, the family is safe, but mostly they lost the place where they used to have this retreats. A lot of people in even in the artist community, the Tezos community in Argentina and in South America have been there. So they lost massive amount of equipment because of this. Wow. And I know that you might have seen here. There's been a campaign. I seen like I was showing like community has been quite active on this, not just in terms of sometimes actually donating tests or some funds for them to help them recover, but also they have this specific curation on object.com that have started actually last year, where the proceeds of these NFT sales are going to the families that were affected, because it's kind of like I said, last year 12 families in the same town had lost their houses because of the fire, and this time.
Right. Well, we should get a link put underneath, shouldn't we? I don't know if you got it to hand, but we'll get a link put underneath the streams, probably YouTube and X.
So it's kind of like we have like a big community there, and the people from Neutro and other artists, they have preparing special pieces, and everyone's kind of like a bit emotional about it. But I guess that let's see how we can help them rebuild in a way. Important things is that they are safe, the people are safe, the family is safe, but it's kind of like, it's also a pity because it's a really beautiful natural area that gets, sadly, this time around. Anyway, I guess that's a bit of the downlight. Sorry, I don't
think I mean, that's very sad. I think we'll get those links out because that sounds worthwhile. Right. Okay. Have you got anything else? Any midlights?
I don't have any midlights. What about you? What's
me? Right. Okay. Well, I had a good break over Christmas for 1 or 2 weeks off, which is great, and had a good New Year as well. I'm looking forward to this switch over, as I always am. This is a switch over where I'm not on holiday.
Nice.
Which is I think it's the second one. I think last time I went on holiday the next day. What else? I am switching Tezos Foundation to BLS keys this quarter, so I'm working on that. And it's fairly straightforward work, but we're just trying to work around the audited environment we have to stay audited. What else have I got?
That entails a new audit, for instance. So
it depends who you talk to. If you talk to a highly expensive auditor, they say, "Sir, we've got this process." If you talk to me, it's like, "Can I get my mate Terry to watch us do it?" No. In all seriousness, we'll be pragmatic as we can. I am going on holiday to Malaga.
Oh, nice.
In a couple of weeks. What else? Oh, because there's no protocol switch planned for that one in February. What else have I got on? I wrote a list. I had to write a list. So my lowlights are taxes.
Are you ready for the deadline?
They are taking the bread out of the property developer's mouth. I know I have a good life and everything, but honestly, empty flats incurring council tax where nothing happens, all sorts of things like that going on, queues of people queuing up. You now have to have a landlord permit in a lot of places. So if you've been renting out for, say, like I have, almost 10 years, all of a sudden I need to pay £1,000 to get a permit to rent out. And it's a process, and they don't tell you if you've got it. I mean, obviously they're trying to get rid of bad landlords, but if you're a good landlord like myself, you know, it's a little bit. It's £1,000 a flat.
That's yeah.
Yeah, so it's just everywhere you look, I feel like was it Blackadder said, I feel like a pelican. Everywhere I look, I've got a massive bill in front of me. So yeah, that's what it is. Also, the property market's stunted as well. There's no one's buying. So I'm trying to sell a flat at the moment, and I've had about 4 viewings in 3 months, and it's a flat that overlooks the Thames. It's got a balcony on the Thames. Anyone want to buy a flat in Purfleet on the Thames? Please DM. But yeah, it's just completely stunted. No one wants to move, and I'm afraid the answer is taxes, taxes, taxes. Sorry to get political on this short broadcast about the Tallinn switchover, but that's my lowlights for the month. So anyway, as I always say, less taxes, less government, leave us all alone. Let's get on with it. That's what decentralisation is all about. Right. None of these views represent my employer or anyone else. Okie doke. We normally have a glass of wine, but I'm on dry January, and this gentleman, and he is a gentleman, has decided not to drink. So we're having a dinner party here, and we're not drinking any wine. Yeah. In fact, the closest we'll get to wine today is I've got a bit of red wine to put in the gravy because you need to deglaze the tin. So we're drinking Coke, the Coke Zero today.
Cheers!
Cheers! Yeah.
That's actually strange. It's the first time we do this, like the same.
Yeah, exactly. We should probably get round here a bottle of wine when I'm ready to go. So,
well, I'm not doing dry January, but maybe I'm saying I'm balancing the undryness of my holidays. So
I can tell you though, this year dry January, I feel absolutely awful. It hasn't made much difference. I'm sleeping a bit better, but the problem is if you drink a lot of coffee, as I do, you don't have the alcohol to balance the coffee. So you have to sort of really look at the whole thing.
So I have that feeling that sometimes I've seen a lot of very greasy crease, let's say, because of the coffee.
Yeah. Well, I had on Thursday, I had about 7 cups. I've got, so you haven't seen the new machine yet. You get to see the house. I've got a new machine that makes filter coffee, and it's got an alarm clock on it. So you set it up in the morning. The first thing you hear about 6:30 is as it grinds the beans. And then it makes the coffee, and you go downstairs. I feed the dogs some coffee.
You know, the thing with coffee, and knowing you will get obsessed about it. You will say, all these automatic grinders are shit, and then that's probably will be solved because you will actually do it manually.
No, not anymore. That's the younger me. Okay, so we have a switchover in 30 minutes. Hopefully, have we slipped again, or
not much? We are looking at 4:06 GMT or UTC time, so it's still kind of.
So we did say today that we would try and show a few of the tools because I think it's quite useful. I mean the block Tezos KT. Let's bring it onto the stage if I can. We don't have a production team. We have to do everything ourselves. You know, our budget's about £2.50.
Go closer to you. Sorry.
Yeah, you do now.
I'm invading your.
Yeah,
I know your English people are very, minded about
particularly from Essex. That's
like a personal space.
Personal space.
Don't bring this a long way. I just want to be.
Yeah. So this is good. Tezos KT is the block explorer of Tezos, and you can see the progress. You can see the blocks being baked. And we've got here apparently 33 minutes of the cycle left. Cycle 1124 will be the first cycle of Tallinn. And that is in 33 minutes and 6 seconds. So that's about 4:06 UK time.
So it's a cool thing that we started with GSKT, because they did a really cool washing up a bit of the UI, and they have just released a couple of new features in the Explorer ahead of the Tallinn upgrade. So maybe we can if you go back to the main website, you will see on the bottom right there they added this widget keeping track of how many bakers are using BLS consensus keys, basically TC4 addresses, consensus keys and the attestation keys, and they are keeping track of the activation threshold. And this is one of it, important changes that is coming with Tallinn. So it's nice that we have that there. And also, if you go to the all bakers, can you go to the all bakers?
Yeah,
tab?
They've got all the keys there now.
Yeah, now you go to all the bakers. Basically, they are listing all the bakers. They are putting who is ready. So it's nice because we have we have Everstake that announced recently they are already using this solution for cloud-based solution for handling the keys. We have this one of the top whales, actually the two biggest private bakers are also right there. That's important, and as you can go further down. But also one of the things that I liked is that they added something that is useful, especially for us, because now you can sort. If you go to the stream right, stream right, shouldn't say stream right. They only used to have voting.
Careful
to the right, the last column.
Yeah.
You can now have both voting power and baking power. So it's nice because it's a bit of a subtle difference, but for consensus in particular, this is perhaps more relevant. So it's kind of a bit more technical for us. You can see some slightly differences because of basically the amount of stake versus delegation. It's what affects that, right? So you would see here, and basically, that's nice because it's
nice.
It's a bit of a good upgrades there, and it's good because we have all this information that is useful for everybody at the first glance. So kudos to Baking Bad and the team.
Yeah, and also personal thanks to them because I had this about 2 Tez devs ago.
Mm-hmm.
It was still in where was it?
2
Paris.
ago was
Brussels
or Paris. 2023.
No, it's Paris. It was definitely Paris.
Last one in Paris.
It was the second one in Paris. Well, the last one in Paris.
Yeah.
And I popped over to see the TZKT team. I said, "Listen, guys, do me a favor. Can you get a test version of TZKT on the test nets, like on day one? It doesn't have to be perfect.
Yeah.
But if you have an Explorer there, everyone can see what's going on. And kudos to them every time they've done it. If it's not been there on day one, it's been there on day 2 or 3.
Yeah. So we have the Tallinn net as well for a long time, and we have Shadow net already as well.
Yeah.
So maybe I guess that we can move to what's next then on your tabs. Can we go to Testail maybe
Testail.
Or Explorers?
Do I have? Well, Explorer. Let's have a look at Explorer. Let's talk about Explorers because that's a simpler block Explorer, but it's because it does a lot less. It tends to work. It's not protocol-less, but you know what I mean. It's a bit easier for it to.
So the technical, maybe the term that we use is a kind of a consensus explorer, right? So this is also kind of like a cool piece of tooling by the team at Funtori because it was the backstory of it. This was originally being developed when Tenderbake was being developed, right? So it was a bit of an internal tooling that existed at the beginning. While we were, developing at the time that we were developing Tenderbake, and indeed, it's kind of like it has a different target. I guess it's more dev oriented, or at least more it's ops oriented, right? Because basically, it's giving you what you are seeing at the top is basically you are seeing who is you see the tracker, you see the line there with the current block, and you will see all the writes until round 7. So basically, you will see who are the bakers that are basically expecting the next blocks. And also, you see it moves very fast. But if there's some baker that's been absent from the committee, then you will see that they appear like strike over, right? And normally, luckily, we have seen all round zeros. So you have this basically showing you who is the current head of the node, and basically if it's a round 1 or round 2, you actually also highlight, for instance, if there are kind of 2 different blocks.
So keep me honest here. So basically, you've got right. Okay, we just missed gate IO, but this TZ3 coup, that is currently proposing the block, right?
Yeah.
And this is quite a nice representation because the gate IO one, that 80 there, that's finalized.
Yeah, so dark green is finalized.
And then the next one is about to be finalized. And then the one at the top is the one. So that's the tender bake 2 block thing.
Yeah, and it's also like I say, it's a finalized content because in most scenarios, actually, we have like a 2-level finalization, but that's for the block hash because like the content of the block is also, it's most often finalizing 1 block. This is what you're showing there. Usually, unless there is like a competition.
Because so just one thing, because I go off at tangents, but basically showing all my bookmarks there. But basically, this octez-baker, this screen here, and also this Explorers thing. If you want to show someone a blockchain in action with some progression, these 2 things give you a great feel for it because it's showing the next block being done visually.
Yeah. And also, if you go a little bit further down. It's giving you a bit of information here because basically, I mean, you are seeing basically it's showing the same split. It's also the last blocks there. As it mostly round zeros, you will see the same baker as a payload proposer and block proposer, right? Who created the block and who finalized it. All round zeros is the same baker, right? But also, what's important saying is that especially for the teams, and for monitoring and keeping the stack, is we know the who's missing tab there is telling you which are the bakers that failed to attest that block, and probably some of these guys are maybe like struggling with, or doing the update or basically that. But seeing like it's quite nice. At the moment, we are only missing smaller bakers. You will see this because it's like the number is the number of slots. So which just means that's kind of like most of, which is important because it allows us to keep track, especially immediately after the switch over, right?
Yeah.
And it also has an interesting tab like the consensus ops, but that's a bit more like for debugging, right? That will show you specifically if you go to the consensus.
If I go,
yes.
Do you want me to go to the consensus? There you are.
That might be yes. Like this is a little bit more freeze because this isn't more live. So these you are seeing for each level, and it moves very fast. So if you have that, like you have the snowflake icon there to freeze it on one level, but you will see live the pre-attestation and the attestation, the delay from their node, and importantly, we'll see on the right if there were DAL attested and published lots. So we also see if the baker actually is working with the DAL who has it done right. Of course, this is a live tool, so it moves really fast, so you can sort of freeze it at the moment, but it's giving you also like how many slots are associated to each baker at that level, because of course that might change a bit. So you'll see if Coinbase just done and they are not running the DAL, so you see that there, right? So this is also kind of like I guess it's a bit, it's useful for bakers. It's kind of like it's more like dev tooling, I guess, but it's also kind of And
I think it's a good tool to have in the tool chest because it's stripped down enough that it tends to go through, whereas the others have a lot more to worry about on top. All right, shall we have a quick look at Teztail, perhaps?
Yeah. Do you have it there, or you want to share the other one?
I see if I can find it.
Okay, I have it on the stage.
Teztail. I did have it yesterday. Is that the one?
Yeah.
That should do the job.
That should do the job. Yeah, that's Teztail mainnet.
I was talking last night with the infrastructure guy. The TF, just a sort of a bit of interest. These TF servers here was part of the project I did about 2 years ago to put a node in every continent.
Oh yes.
It's on GCP at the moment, but we have a node in we have a node in 6 continents each. And we can't find a hosting deal down in Antarctica.
I might know a guy.
Well, if you can get a machine down in Antarctica, we can do 7. But we have a copy of our chain. So these machines are feeding the the Tezos system. But I don't know if you want to talk a bit about, the. I mean, is it worth having a look at a delegate?
Yeah, well, I can explain a little bit what's happening here, because we said it. So basically, it's also a tool that developed from the guys at Nomadic Labs. While again, even before Tenderbake, so especially for incident management and monitoring, we needed to basically tool. And basically how this works, what Chris was showing is what we call the test-tail archivers. It's a set of nodes that are running this particular software that runs with Octez. And basically what it's doing, it's timestamping when it sees the consensus operations in the network, right? So, and this is using, and this delay information that you see there is the timestamp of when there's different machines spread out, thanks to Chris and the foundation around the world now, with regard to the actual timestamp of the block, right? And if you see it's moving like that, in particular, what you can see there in the tab, you will see in the delays for the different pre-attestations and the different attestations, basically for a level. You will see and there's an interesting line, because it also gives you information. Sometimes you have the vertical bars for the red for validation and application of the block. So basically, if you have maybe like a really full block with a lot of gas that might move a little bit to the right. So it's an interesting tool for debugging, because of course there's usually if there's a particular correlation in between basically the arrival of the timestamps of where pre-attestations are starting to be seen and the network and stuff. And it also kind of the yellow bars are useful, because it's also giving you they're marking where the quorums are achieved. This means when you have 67% of the attestation power of pre-attestations and attestations, right? So it's also a measure of how it's an important measure, specifically when you take a large period of blocks. It's a good tool to say, okay, how's the network is performing? How are we doing if we want to go back lower? In addition to all the different infra that the Core Layer 1 team has developed to bench against lowering the latency. And one of the things I started to share this tool because with some of the bakers, I do say, if you go to the delegate tab, maybe you should, so basically you freeze this, I'd say, just pause it so it doesn't reflect.
Yeah.
So you just kept 20 blocks and you look for a delegate there.
Let's pick a foundation one.
Yeah. So this is what you're seeing there. Here is, okay, this is the a chunk of 20 blocks from the head where we hit pause, so 138. And what it's telling you here is the delay, basically, of the pre-attestation and attestations with regard of the timestamps. So basically, you are looking there at more or less the 700 millisecond or 800 millisecond. Well, you have it there on the average on that 20 blocks. And it's interesting to sometimes to measure if you are doing changes, because you can take a large chunk, say 1,000 blocks, and do this. And we had this discussion about this because I made a thread at some point. I changed my personal baker, when I changed from a TC1 consensus key and TC3, or measuring the performance of different ledger devices, for instance. And in particular, if you change the display there from delay to deviation, that gives you you have the mean of all the bakers, and actually saying the foundation is a bit ahead of the pack. But it's interesting tool to give you an information sometimes. If you are losing if you feel like your baker is losing attestations, you can actually use this information to try to see if it's actually, realistic or not, and whether you if you have an average, an attestation average, where you are 2 seconds later than the rest of the mean of the bakers, means that maybe you need to adjust your infra a bit. And it also gives you this. So it's kind of even if it's we build this for development, it also has a report tab where you can get some stats about how many round 0, round 1 blocks, for instance, over a period of time. But I think that for bakers in particular, it's a useful tool to actually, see how sometimes people have this thing saying, "Oh, I'm losing the same. Oh, I'm maybe missing more attestations than with the previous protocol." And if you do some changes, it will give you some information. Of course, this there's a caveat. This is not perfect because this depends on on the network, and it depends on where our nodes are spread out. So it's not it's not magic, but you do get some if you made some changes on your infra, and you can use this to sort of bench like an overall performance in terms of attestation.
Well, it's a nice pane of glass. Now, sorry. I think what we need to do is we need to talk a little bit about readiness, given that we're 10 minutes away from
15.
So 15. So if I just very quickly now, earlier today, Captain Steak popped in to see us.
Yes.
Yeah, just popped in. He's vanished now. He always does that. And let's try and find, if I find his, no, I don't want that. I want that. Don't want that one. I want this one I prepared earlier in a very Blue Peter kind of way. There we are. So we're going to go a bit command line now. And this is Captain Steaks Baker. And he left himself logged in.
Yeah.
Which you shouldn't ever
You
do.
shouldn't trust us.
No, I mean, I've got an account on his machine, but
does it mean that we can run the spaceship?
We can probably get to his spaceship, yeah, and get to his tax account. But basically, you need to be on Octez version 24. There is a 24.1. It has a couple of fixes in it, but they're not essential. One's are for importing a snapshot. If you haven't, if you're upgrading now, upgrade to 24.1. If you're on 24, you're ready. And also you need to make sure you're running the right baker. Now on this machine, in fact, let me do the old BSD-PS trick. On this machine, they're using the consolidated baker. So it's possible to run one baker now, not to worry about it. Provided you're on the right version of Octez, that will do the job. But if you are running the individual bakers, you need to be running the Seoul baker for the next 10 minutes and the Tallinn baker, so you get a smooth switch over. But the split baker is disappearing in
next version. So
25.
This is the last time we are actually saying this advice. So it's great because it's.
But get to know the consolidated baker, but please do not run the consolidated baker and the individual bakers at the same time, because if you do that, you might double bake and you will lose some funds. You heard it here. Well, first, but not first. You heard it here again. What else have we got? There's also a consolidated accuser. So if you want to be a good citizen, you can run the accuser, which checks for double baking and double testing. And submits those to the chain. And what else? Also, it's worth checking if you're using a signer at all. There's Octez signer and signatory. There have been some updates in those for Tallinn. I don't think they're particularly critical, but it's worth taking the time to update now.
No, because kind of like I guess the changes that were done in Seoul in preparation, right? What affected the designers, the introduction of the new consensus, well, the capabilities of the TC4 and everything should be done already with Seoul. So in that regard, we should be set.
Well, the signing mechanism. I mean, I'm using on. I think I'm on Tallinn now. I'm using an older signatory. So yeah, I think it's All right. So that's readiness. So if you're not ready, you've got 8 minutes. You've got 14 minutes to do it. So I suppose the other thing we haven't really talked about is what the features are. So there's a very easy one to explain, which means I'll do it. So that's the 6-second block time. We're currently at an 8-second block time, and the team have shaved off 2 seconds. So what that means is our transactions settle on the layer 1 in 12 seconds. So it's probably faster than buying a bottle of wine at the supermarket.
Yes, definitely. Opening. Can you open a bottle of wine in less than 6 seconds?
Oh yeah. If needs arise. And then we've got the. Herman alluded to it earlier. We've got this ability for the bakers to test every block.
Yes. Right. So this is what we were discussing before, right? What TSKT was tracking, right? So this feature that we call all bakers attest. So basically, it's a follow-up from the introduction of aggregated attestations in with Seoul. So the TLDR is that given that now bakers can use BLS keys to sign consensus operations and blocks, we can take advantage of this very nice property, like mathematical property of the BLS cryptographic family of curves. And basically, it means the impact for the bakers, right? Cutting all the nerdiness aside, is that we can compress all attestations into a single one, where the signature is basically the aggregation of all the signatures together.
Yeah.
And so this is basically started already with Seoul and now with Tallinn. As what you are seeing is that when now what with Tallinn enables is that when 50% of the bakers adopt this new technology, we can we'll activate this all bakers attest feature. And what does it mean? It means that it's a bit of a change in how we were before. So when we were showing Explorers before, we're seeing that for each level there is an attestation committee, right? Because the way that Tenderwave works right now is that to say we have 7,000 attestation slots per level, and these are randomly assigned to the number of bakers. So this means that because of allocating baking power into 7,000 blocks, you get this variations in how many slots bakers have on each committee. And also so if we get to the old bakers attest feature, it means that we get rid of these committees. So every baker will participate in signing attestation at every level. The attesting power will be more linear from the staking power. It will be easier to compute the calculations. It also even be a little bit more provides a bit of a stronger security guarantees, in the sense that kind of like it's more simple to calculate. For instance, if when a baker gets slashed, it's more deterministic, let's say, for you to prepare in advance. Should that be the case? We hope not for everybody. But mostly also like the big impact is bandwidth in this sense, because basically we get rid of all the, we reduce the attestations a lot, and we also don't need to compute all these attestations committed at the beginning, at the end of the cycle, which should allow us also to keep making the consensus layer 1 linear, and use this also like as a trampoline, to go into further latency reductions and some other changes in the consensus algorithm that the team, especially the layer 1 team, is preparing for maybe future upgrades this year. So it's a bit of a continuous improvement, let's say.
So we need to get BLS keys is the way forward, right?
Yes.
Because if we all get on BLS keys, we make the chain a lot more performant. Now, the last thing, well, the other thing, main thing, is the address indexing. That's, as I understand it, an index of addresses that are used in smart contracts, and that squashes down the smart contract storage.
It's a neat trick in a way. So it comes from an observation that, especially with NFTs and a lot of things, a lot of the space that many smart contracts on Tezos layer 1 and maybe like in a couple of months in Tesla, it's spent storing addresses. You have these maps of addresses. It's for not just for like NFT art NFTs, but also for tokens. You have this list of who owns how many on these balances, and you would see that there's a lot of replication, like on how those bits are stored. So basically, the address indexing relationship, what it does is basically creates a reverse dictionary for a key. So basically, it starts indexing like by ID, and of course, this takes a longer storage space to keep this ID, and then the context provides you with the reverse mapping, right? So this is kind of like, it will require like new contracts to adopt this technology. So it's kind of it's not something that the existing contract may benefit, but it will allow us is for smart contract developers in layer 1 and eventually in Tesla as well to basically, instead of storing a full address, store its ID. And then you basically use like a chip read in the context to basically reverse this. So it provides, like, depending on the contracts for NFTs, it might provide like a very big saving in terms of storage space,
which is important, right? Because I mean, I think these things, what these things are doing, these three features, they're making the layer one smaller footprint, they're making it faster, and that is the plan for the layer one, right? To make it a very fast staking settlement platform.
It's leaner and agility. So basically, it means I put the layer one on a diet and make it run exercise a bit, I guess.
Right. So we have 7 minutes. 7 minutes left. So you've got 7 minutes to upgrade your bakers. I did all mine earlier. So
maybe
mine.
Okay.
So what do we? How do we want to watch it? Do we want to watch the node, or do we want to watch TZKT? We probably watch the node.
We should watch the node. What you have there is
that's just the node. I mean, you can put the baker on.
Well, the node is more interesting because you will see the activation of the protocol on the node.
Yeah, let's have a look at that then. Let's put that on the stage.
You can split the screen.
I could probably tell both, couldn't I? That might confuse it. Showing my Unix administration skills. Oh, I didn't like that. That's because it's the wrong file. There we are. So that's both of them together mixed.
Well, that might be
confusing.
Confusing, yes. Okay. Yeah. But so, and I was checking the readiness. I had a discussion with a couple of bakers that okay.
Well, I mean, the stats on TZKT were looking relatively good, but the problem is, of course, you can't tell everyone's version number unless they bake to block.
Yeah, that's how it will work, right? So the mechanism that we have is kind of like we have this, there's a anti-spam mechanism that the block production has. So it has this very tiny proof of work argument, and we use that to encode the version of octets running under the hood. What it means is kind of like once you baked a block, the indexer can pick up, and this is how TSKT supports this. Have like adoption.
Well, shall we just do it? We've got a bit of time, haven't we? So
do you want to switch to mine? I have like
no, so I've got it right here, ready to go. But yeah, this is the software version. So there's 30 people that.
But you're not put. You didn't put.
I didn't put it on the screen. So I'm just talking about it. It's the usual thing.
We need like somebody managing this.
We do. We need to hire someone.
Yeah.
So 30 people are on 24.1, or they baked a block whilst being on 24.1, and then we've got 144 bakers on 24.
Yeah.
And I mean, we got a few people down there on 53.
Yeah, but like if you look at maybe when you click, you will see.
Yeah.
So this could be because if it's 30, by cost of this is not sort of a stake.
Well, they just haven't baked a block yet.
Since they've
upgraded.
So we are talking like, of course, you follow up with the large bakers. We were. Some people had like some last minute issues, even one this morning. Like the teams at kudos to Aurelian and other guys at the Technical team that we were giving some last minute support to some of the guys that we start shouting and prepping since B24 is out, but like some people that had this at last minute.
Well, of course, there are people with environments where it takes a little while to update.
Yeah,
they've got to verify it and be sure.
But what most of the at this point. There's two measures, and it's nice that TSKT has both, right? One is the stake, which is probably what the team is more worried about, I guess, in the sense, especially like thinking of the guys of the layer one team in the war room, is because we need like 67% of the stake to be moved.
Whoops, that's one way of getting rid of you, isn't it?
Look at that. Don't do this to me. I come all the way to your house.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, the thing is that to be fair, it's given we got 2 minutes there. You have been blocking my my nice learning Russian verbs picture that I got just in the post. So all the royalties that I'm losing because of that. Anyway,
Well-
right. So, seriousness, we've got about 2 minutes left. 3 minutes and 8 seconds apparently. So we are going to switch. It's all going to be successful. And goodbye to Seoul. If you are using the Seoul Net test network, that will disappear in about, well, probably on Monday at this point, because it becomes redundant. So if you want to test something and you want to test it on Tallinn specifically, you can use the Tallinn Net test network, or ShadowNet will switch to Tallinn tomorrow. ShadowNet switches a day later than mainnet for testing. Right. What else we got to talk about?
I think we
Run out.
checked out. We ran out. We did all the topics.
We did all the topics. Yeah.
We did all the.
It's getting a little
It's
dark.
darker.
Well,
I mean, you're getting a bit intimate.
Yeah, we are. Get the candles on. And need to go and cook the dinner as well. But come on, Tallinn. Where are you?
So we are on 272. So we're a couple of maybe 100 blocks? No.
Yeah, we are on 273 on mine, or 274 just gone.
2 minutes, 20 blocks.
20 blocks. Yeah. All good stuff. I mean, we went last time we did one. We haven't done one of these for a little while, these podcasts. But last one we did was actually the Seoul switchover.
Yeah,
It's been quite a busy quarter. We haven't got together. But back then we went through all the protocols. I think the one that was took the longest was Granada, because it had the context flattening.
no, that was Hangzhou. Yes.
That was Hangzhou. Sorry, yeah, Hangzhou that had the context flattening, because that was in
December 2021, I guess.
Yep.
We're getting close.
We are getting close.
1 minute to go.
Yeah. But that was the longest one. I don't think we particularly had any issues either. So fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. What else is coming up? We've got TezDev
in March.
Cannes in March the 30th.
Yes.
In Cannes.
31. Sunday.
Yes, the Monday.
Monday, 31.
31, okay. Okay, so go and have a look at tezos.com/ I think TezDev for that.
I've seen they sent recently an email to people up before, so you had a reminder if you wish to stay in the Loom event.
And we're hoping to do it. We're hoping to do a steakhouse from there.
3 blocks to go.
But I don't think you're going on holiday again, are you?
Yeah, I will. 2 blocks.
2 blocks. Ready to go. Which all fall apart.
1 block. We should get the drum. Voila. And we are on Tallinn.
We're on Tallinn.
We moved. Yes.
We did. I'm injecting.
Yes.
I say I'm injecting. Captain Steak is injecting into stations.
I'm injecting at the stations as well.
Yeah. So that looks good. Let's take that off the screen. I don't know. Is the TZKT up?
I will say, yeah. Usually for like some of the, especially the block explorers and the infra might take some time to
readjust.
But it looks fun.
It looks nice. Like it's running to me.
Yes.
Well, it just.
No, it's still like TSKT is still on the last block. So maybe Explorers usually comes faster. But I'm looking at my baker as well. Everything's moving and it looks all around serious for the time being.
Yep. Yeah, it does actually look at yes. The TZKT is on. So let's put that up.
Yeah.
We need to get a T-boy basically. Just to do this, see if Roland's available.
Yeah, it's a pity we couldn't get blanks. He's just sleeping.
He's probably still sleeping. To be fair, playing computer games. Yeah, so we are all working, and there's Tezos Foundation has signed. So I'm happy.
Your shop is safe.
Yeah, for now. For now.
Explorers is also up, so it's good. So we got little bit of bakers missing. I'm looking at it, but it's not, like it's safe. A couple of yeah.
Let's have a quick look at Explorers.
Yeah, so probably peer-to-peer org is down, but
they'll be up soon.
They should be up soon.
All good.
That seems to
Right.
be good.
Well,
It's good.
It's all about us, and it is my afternoon off, so it's time to go and eat lots of roast beef downstairs. We're going to cook it
I was promised a roast beef, and I didn't came all the way to do any of the cooking. So
it's not going to cook itself. So congratulations to the core engineering team and all of the ecosystem people that have put in a lot of hard work to get there. There is a lot of work that goes around this. So well done, everyone. And we're going to try and be back in February. We're not sure what with yet, but we do have a few ideas. So hopefully see you in a month, and hopefully see you all at TesDev. Thanks very much.
And welcome to Tallinn.
Welcome to Tallinn. Ciao, ciao.
Bye.